So when Dante posed a beautiful question, Dante, just a beautiful question. Nah, when you were talking about the Democratic Party and not them necessarily kind of coming after the black vote, um, where I hear you, I would go on the other side. Why do they need to come after a black vote when we have whoever on the other side? Now, it's this one person. If it was anybody else, I could understand where you're coming from. But in this instance, in this election, if I am an African American after seeing everything that Donald Trump has done, the way that he's ran our country, and I vote for him, I'm not going. My mind's not going to be changed. But if I'm what I would consider a typical African American that lives in America, there's no way that I could sign my name or put my name or put his name, sorry, on the ballot. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. He doesn't stand for anything that I agree with. So I think, therefore, what they're doing is they're kind of going after the people in which I think that they believe that they need, even though they know they need the black vote. I believe they think they have it because of who's in office. There is nothing that I can say about that person in office on a positive note, in my opinion.
But should we excuse them from any agenda just because Trump is terrible?
So,
Yes. Yes.
So okay,
so
so
hold on. So you're telling me this? No, I'm not saying this. I'm not saying we should not vote for them, but we still should apply some pressure.
Hold them to account. Yes, sir.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying, hey, we're not going to vote for you unless, but I'm saying present Ice Cube presented something.
Who should we focus on? Is that Biden? Is that the Black Caucus? Like, where should we put that energy?
Ask yourself this. How many people know about the Black Caucus? Let's be real.
Very few.
Very few. People don't know about them. You know why? Because those are people who are progressive.
Well, I mean, how many people even really follow politics, though?
They follow what they see on CNN, Fox News, and all those little other things. They never talk about the Black Caucus. And let me tell you why. If CNN, this is what CNN, and this is where I draw the line. CNN decided not to have Ice Cube on there first. He didn't do that. He said, like, CNN had already banned Ice Cube for the anti-Semitic things that he supposedly said, right? So with that being said, so there was like, they had an interview with him, and after this came out, they're like, oh, we're not gonna have you. He was like, well, I thought I was already banned. So what does it matter? But he's been on every other talk show.
Right.
Ice Cube has played the most nonchalant person in this whole situation. He's telling you exactly what it is every single time. What does he have to lose? Nothing. What does he have to gain?
Everything.
An agenda that somebody has to pay attention to. And I was just disheartened when I heard all these people of color, Black people, not at least taking what he's saying as face value versus what they're saying as face value. He is giving you F the police. He brought to you N-word with attitudes.
Yes.
Come on now.
I struggle here, Byron. I really struggle here, and it's a little bit of a philosophical debate with myself, because here's my whole thing. If we ever get to this glorious place that everyone believes that's already here, we're post-race, we're post-racism. If we ever get to this place where people truly vote their ideals and it's not based on your complexion, you're going to have a bunch of people voting and saying and doing things that feel really weird, right? Really weird, you know? And so, like, isn't that what, like, free Black expression looks like, right? It's like just people speaking their mind. Like, yeah, I wish they would go and do the research before they speak. I wish everybody would go and do the research before they speak. But, like, isn't that what it looks like when people can truly just give their 2 cents? Like, you're the first person to say, we are not a monolith. We don't all believe and act and do things the same. Shouldn't you be cutting them a break a little bit and just like?
I'm cutting them a break, but I'm also trying to tell them, why don't you listen to what he's saying? That's the thing about it.
They should.
If you're already judging him prior to anything he's done, and you don't, he said this a while back. And the problem is this: the reason why I went under radar is because he said, I'm coming out with a document that's going to outline what the contract with the Black America. That's what America needs for us.
Yeah.
He said this months and months ago. People laugh, a document, because they wanted something else after George Floyd. They wanted him to be like at the police and go out with some guns and be NWA. And that stuff ain't gonna work. He's only one person.
Right.
Ain't like Dr. Dre gonna come behind him talking about, yeah, hell yeah. You know, he's gonna be, that's not gonna work. You got that right.
I don't know, but he doesn't even have that much like political credibility though.
That's what it is. That's why he got smart people to do something for him. The problem is this: he knew that if Kanye can get to the office.
Oh no! Please no. Why are you?
No, listen to what I'm saying. No, I'm talking about to reach it, which means reaching that somebody's going to reach out to him. He knew that he could probably have that same people reach out, but he had all he did was do this. I got this document. It's written. It's the way I think it's right. I got people who were smarter than me to do this.
Right.
I'm gonna present it to both sides. Hey, I got a document.
Stop.
Sorry
about that.
That's the CIA. FBI.
No, I have a 7 p.m. alarm every day.
So Trump people said, this may be something. Biden people said, well, we already got that.
But you know, Trump was gonna bait and switch it.
That's what he said. And he said that. I already knew what they're gonna do. But the problem is this: that doesn't stop the fact that it still needs to be done. Just because somebody does something stupid with something doesn't mean you can't do it. So,
I hear what you're saying.
This is what problem is this. Let's rewind back to when he wrote it.
Uh-huh.
The Black Caucus wasn't there saying, yeah, Ice Cube, let me show can I see that? So we can see if it matches up. Where's the other activists? Everybody wanted to jump on him for doing something around them.
Yeah.
But no one wanted to jump on him when he was trying to get it done. And when he went out on public to tell you he's doing it.
Here's what I would have liked to see. I would like to see how the Republican playbook. When you got a Republican who's trying to do his own thing, what does the Republican Party do? They like, we're gonna primary you. You ain't playing ball. You ain't falling in line. We're gonna primary you. I would have loved for Ice Cube to say that. I've been trying to talk to y'all. Been trying to work with y'all. I got this document. You're not giving me the time of day. I'm gonna primary you. That's what I would have loved to see. Right, and that's how you move the needle.
But how would he know that? Because he's not a political person. He's a rapper.
But you just said he went and got smart people to write his document.
He got lawyers and people like that. He didn't get political people. He was hoping that it would catch on. He talked about this on Breakfast Club and other outlets, and these people never picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Cube."
That's fine, but you gotta take the conversation to him. That's what politics is. That's what activism is.
But guess what? He wasn't trying to be an activist. He was just trying to make a document so he can get it.
Oh, nah.
He wasn't trying to be
no activist. So you can't take that.
So my little tidbit, he could, but I'm not going to say his agenda necessarily was wrong, but this close to an election, you already knew what was going to happen, which I think could create a divide. I'm not trying to divide anybody this close to an election with who we have in office currently. I understand his agenda and what he was trying to do. If the Democratic Party would have, now again, maybe I'm wrong, but if the Democratic Party would have said, let's have this talk, okay, well, we all can have this talk. If the Democratic Party said, well, we got to wait till we get in office, well, I'm not going to talk about anything, because why am I going to give anything to the other end? I understand that there's an agenda, but we know who is in office. This is the same person who fights with Dr. Fauci all the time, right?
Yeah.
But then he puts him inside of one of his commercials
Yeah,
misquoting him,
misquoting him.
but yet you're going to go there with a humble heart, knowing that this is the type of person that we're dealing with.
But see, the thing is that he didn't go there talking to Trump. He never met Trump. See, the problem is this: when you talk to the people constituents, you don't know what they're going to do.
But you know that.
I mean, talking to his camp is talking to Trump.
But listen, what I'm saying. You hope that you're going to get a meeting when somebody says, "Okay, we're going to look at this," because all you want to do is look at it.
Yeah.
Look at the document. The Democrats didn't even look at the document.
I know.
That's what's
bad look.
I don't even understand that concept. What are you preoccupied with?
Trying to win the election.
But you're trying to get the black vote.
As we all know, just for the very point that Jarrell made, if you don't get the black vote in this election, man, it's time to move.
Do you know how many people are on the fence? I'm not talking about they're trying to vote for Trump. People are just not voting. People just don't have they're up in the air.
I don't have that concern. I feel like they're already showing record turnout, even above and beyond Obama.
I was one of those people who weren't going to vote this year.
Man, please don't make me fly to Florida.
Hold on, I'm saying
I'll drive you myself. I'll drive you myself.
Earlier on, when they first announced that Biden was the winner of the nominee, I was like, eh. And then when he dangled this, it's gonna be a woman. I already knew who he's gonna do.
Look, I'm on the fence about your third party vote, but I'm gonna let that ride. That's what a democracy is. But you sitting out is like a vote for Trump. That's my.
Who'd you vote for with Hillary and Trump?
Trump, Hillary.
Hillary.
I knew what he was. It was plain to see what he was. I voted for Hillary, right? And
she won.
No, she did not win.
No. Well,
no, she did not win.
What did she win?
She won the popular vote, and the popular vote is not meaningful.
I know, but what I'm saying is she won by us voting. In the popular sense, everyone was voting for her. She just didn't win the strategic vote.
Well, again, there's other issues with that. So we all know the suppression of the vote, right?
So you understand this. After the president understands that he lost the popular vote, because that's most important to him, right? Because he wants to win by landslide. He realized he can't beat Biden by landslide. So guess what he does? When he gets that document, of course he's going to tell them to give him that document. But as a Democratic campaign manager, you should have at least took the document, went it over, at least sat down with Ice Cube and Black Caucus and said,
hold on,
this is what I'm doing.
What if I am Joe Biden? Let's be 100% real. If I am Joe Biden, ring ring, hey, Ice Cube got a plan. He want to talk to you. Ice Cube, nah, man, let one of the interns do that. Click. Like, come on, man. Like, it's getting traction right now because people want to talk about it. But like, Ice Cube is not a political player. And and sorry, like it works that way. It got rules to the game.
Well, you know? What if it was been Tupac?
Why you?
Hey.
Oh man, I'm about to hang up on you, man. Come on now. Look. I feel like his heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
Was he strategic? No. But
that's the lack of knowledge.
But why are we talking about Ice Cube? And why are we not canceling the only Black person who we should be canceling right now, which is Kanye? And I love that brother. I love his music.
Well, because he's irrelevant in the situation.
But he's literally committing voter suppression. He's intentionally trying to steal the vote away from Biden to help his boy. He's literally got Trump campaign people helping him in that endeavor. He's literally acting against Black people all over the country. Well, I don't understand. Like, look, I like the guy. I like his music, and I think artists should be allowed to be crazy and say whatever they want to say. That's why we get beautiful music. But he needs to go have a seat right now.
What about LeBron?
What about LeBron?
Should he have a seat too?
He can look. You can speak your mind, but once you engage in politics, real politics, that's where I draw my line.
You see what you did though, right?
What?
So we limit because they're not professional politicians.
No.
He's not, because Kanye. What if Kanye?
Kanye is in
what
the
if Kanye
act of
was
voter
doing the other
suppression.
side? So what if he was doing it the other way?
What do you mean?
What if he was trying to suppress people from
The
voting?
Republican vote.
Yeah.
Oh, I would still say he's suppressing voters, but I'd be like, that's cool.
But you see what? That's it.
Look, I'm keeping it 100. What I'm talking about is like we sitting over here giving our boy Ice Cube all that flack, and I'm saying he's not the one who deserved the smoke. Kanye deserved the smoke.
No, I never said he deserved. That's why I was saying he didn't deserve the smoke that he got.
You're right.
That's what I was saying. He did something that he personally felt that was supposed to be just something smooth and a simple situation. He probably never even thought nobody was going to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And now it becomes bigger. He's like this. Well, what the heck?
Yeah.
Until Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
It's still
all right, Jarrell. So let me address what you just said earlier.
Here we go.
I'm going to read you.
So even though we have 45 in office, that doesn't mean that they should not go and try to get Black people's vote. Because at the end of the day, they're doing basically what they're saying is what he said when he was on the Breakfast Club. If you're not Black, if you don't vote for me, then you're not Black. And that's just nonsense because everybody's.
I'm sorry, Dante. I agree with that right now.
Nah, that's crap. No. That is crap because
nobody
that
can
is
take
saying
your identity. I get it. You don't need Joe Biden to validate your Blackness.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It just makes it because it's like, so the only reason that you're saying that I'm going to vote for you is because I'm Black. Like, that's craziness. Like, it should be more than that. And then on top of that, so now you basically taking the vote. You're taking my vote for granted because you just know I'm going to vote. So it doesn't matter what you're going to do or what you say that you're going to put up for, like what you're going to do for the Black community, regardless of whatever it is, you just vote for me. I don't have to do nothing. I don't got to say nothing. You just vote for me.
Would he say that to the LGBT?
No.
He wouldn't say that to them.
Hold on.
Hey, listen.
Can I give you a hypothetical, Dante?
Go ahead.
If I got a gun to your head, and it's a fact, I'm gonna pull the trigger, and someone walks up right next to me and says, "Or you can come with me." I really don't give a shit about your life, but you can come with me and live. What you doing? What you doing?
What do you? But that's okay. But Donald Trump does not have a gun to my head.
Donald Trump absolutely has a gun to our head.
Okay, so all right. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I had this conversation today with somebody. At the end of the day, Donald Trump has did a lot of negative things, and I don't like him. I voted for him last year or 4 years ago.
Why you put that out there?
Because I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
I don't know how.
I'm okay with it. Well, you know why. You know my reasons why.
No, let's not go back into it. You gotta give me PTSD. You gotta give me PTSD. I can't even.
Okay. Anyways, so unfortunately, he has done a lot of things that I do not agree with. That I don't like. He said a lot of things that are very hurtful. You know, for the Black community and everybody else. However, personally, how has he affected your life? How has he affected my life? He hasn't.
Oh yes, he has.
Not me. He hasn't. He hasn't personally done anything that I'm like, oh my gosh.
That you know
what? So if I don't know, I mean,
you know what you sound like right now? You sound like a Republican. That's why they vote the way they vote, because they can't look 5 feet beyond themselves.
I'm being
Dante. I understand.
No, but I'm being honest. But he hasn't done anything. Like I said, I don't like him. I'm probably I don't know who I'm going to vote for right now. But
so let me ask you this: by him being in office, he's allowed Republicans to suppress the vote, right? And
they already did. They were doing that. They were doing that from.
Hold on 1 second. Right. Actually, this year is quite different because of a new change in the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
So
he
and
did a lot.
I could go into that later. But he's emboldened Republican politicians to do certain things. Jeff Sessions was doing certain things. Like they are hurting families. They're doing tangible, real things that are hurting people's families. And this is the thing. And this is the thing that just kills me. When they destroy our education system, right? That's not hurting you today. You get to live another day. Your kids get to live another day. Your cousins get to live another day, right? But when they don't even know their own history, is he not harming you and your family?
But but okay, first off, okay.
Hold on. By allowing racist politicians to get in office, is he not harming you and your family?
But that's why I said that's why I said he's not. We have to do a better job of local.
You're taking responsibility away from him. He is the
no.
He's the
what you're saying is, I agree with what you're saying is that yes, but if we are in our we're in our local government and we are voting, like we said before, if we're voting the right people into the education system, into the local government, if we are doing that, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, he's not coming to Manatee County and saying, hey, here's $5 billion. You're going to put it here, here, and here. No, it's the people that's in the local government that's dishing out the money. So
he's 100% doing that.
But if we have the right people, in office, he can't.
Let me put it like this. He changed for everything to happen, right? So like right now, if I told you guys, hey, y'all want to come start a business with me? Y'all might say, well, who's Eric, right? Like, why am I going to come leave my livelihood to come run a business with you, right? But if I showed you a bank statement that had $1 billion in it, y'all might be like, that's what's up, right? All of a sudden, the environment changes. And to me, that's what he did. He changed the landscape. So if you used to voting a certain way because you thought the landscape was this, we in a whole new landscape, baby, right? All the rules are changing, but our voting patterns are staying the same, right? So like, he is a central figure in allowing certain things to take place. And what if
I'm not disagreeing with that?
And what if these people were already in office? Right? You know what I'm saying? So you could take politicians flow with the wind. So before Trump, they might have been reasonable. Now with Trump here, I don't have to be reasonable.
Not reasonable. Yeah. And that's because they don't have the right people in office. You have a bunch of people that's in there that are afraid.
It didn't matter as much before he got there. There was still some sense of decency. He's thrown away all human decency.
Yeah, but if you have people in there that have the right mindset, that are trying to do stuff for the people.
But Jarrell said, we being naive. We being naive right here. They're career politicians. They go where the money is, and we let we let dark money get into our elections.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
Look,
however,
you trying to save your uncle. You trying to save him? You can't.
No. I'm not trying to save my. But guess what? You just said something that. You were saying that he was hurting people by putting people away in jail. Guess what Biden did?
I know.
96. Him and Hillary and all of them. So they
and Kamala too.
And I don't like, and that's why I don't like her either. And I was telling Joe this too. I said I don't like it. She goes on a Breakfast Club and she like, oh yeah, I smoke weed and I did this. But you sit here putting people in jail.
CIA got him. CIA
got you. Got you as soon as you said it.
For a long,
like, no.
Boy, look. So, the DNC heard you.
I'm back. But yeah, so she on the Breakfast Club, kikiing and laughing how she's smoking weed and listening to rap music.
Listening to
Tupac, which. But she doing that, but then she forgets that she put all these people in jail. But now it's a joke. It's cool.
Hey, bro. We coming. It's a change in the times, my brother.
Nah.
Hold on.
People can't change. You want to make all these excuses for Trump, but Kamala can't change?
Hold up. No. I'm not saying. Hold on, look.
Wait. Let me come at you. And it's not you. I'm gonna talk to Byron real quick too.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
When you were in the position that she was in, Byron, as a police officer, you have a job to do. That doesn't mean you agree with the laws. That doesn't mean you like anything. It means I have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to do my job. She has to prosecute people because if she doesn't prosecute them, now she's out of a job and that's her money.
And I never had an issue with that.
Okay.
I never had an
Okay.
issue with that.
Let me
that's
say
what I
something
mean.
then. Let me say something then. Let me say
She just
something.
never brought. She never reneged on. She never said no. She never retracted and said, "Look, you know what? This was situations that I did back in the day. I see how this affects people, and let me say, these are things I'm going to do to try to fix that situation today."
Exactly.
No one's talking about criminal reform today.
She will do that after the election.
She should have been doing it now.
She should have been talking about it.
She's gonna give Trump. She's gonna give Trump an attack angle.
Well, they already got the attack angle.
They already attacking it. They're already attacking it.
Yeah, but you can't come out there and say Trump is right. Right? Yeah. You can't give him an angle on you because he's gonna take your soundbite, he's gonna put it in the video, and he's gonna play it everywhere.
You are right.
So you do the same. You do the same stuff what he did, and you do the same stuff. So what?
That's what you have to deal with as if you want to be a nominee.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean,
the thing. But see, this is the thing, Jarrell. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You just do the same thing he's going to do. And this is what I have to say about that, Jarrell. Yes, you're right. She had to do her job. Otherwise, she wouldn't have a job. However, she didn't have to give them a lengthy sentence. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that.
Well, actually, she might have. She never. Now, you might want to point your anger back at Biden because that could have been, what about 3 strikes? What about minimum sentence?
And that's what I'm saying. And that goes back to what Byron said. They're the same person.
They're not the same. And here's the only reason why my belief of why they're not the same is there are certain people in the Republican Party who are maliciously seeking to destroy Black lives. It's convenient, it's effective, and it's a political tool for them. They want to do it. They want to do it.
The Democrats did the same thing.
So what? So we're all gonna move away?
No, what I'm saying is,
I don't want to talk about 20 years ago. I want to talk about today.
Let me address the elephant in the room. That's the biggest elephant that we address every time. I don't do crime. Dante doesn't do crime. Eric doesn't do crime. Jarrell doesn't do crime.
I put the ski mask on sometimes.
That you know of.
No, what I'm saying is this. None of us do crime, right?
Yet.
But yet, every time we talk about election, it's always about criminal situations, right? It's never about accumulation of wealth. It's never about, business loans. It's always about criminal reform. I understand criminal reform is important, but no one ever fixes it. So why don't we just jump to something different? And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about Black agendas. Black agendas should be not focusing just on criminal reform because we had issues with it. Because
you don't think that's the biggest one, Byron?
I know. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. It is huge. But what I tell you this, if you remove poverty, you will not police, because let me tell you something. Police don't run out of my neighborhood. I got police that live out here and they don't do nothing. It don't be nothing going on. And kids be doing what kids do, but we don't have patrols going through here. We don't have police coming through here. But you go through another neighborhood down the road, police sit in their neighborhood.
But it sounds like you talking about what we talking about.
No, what I'm saying is this. What I always say is this. I don't care about if they're past and they want to, and we rectifying their past. My issue is that they never said, look, let's fix this. Let's come up with some ideas to fix what we've messed up, because now we're going to be in a position of greater power. We were in lower power. I can write an executive order. Biden said this on the other day on his town hall meeting. And this is what let me know that I'm scared to vote for him, because he says this: as many executive orders as many presidents have wrote, he says, I'm gonna let it go to a vote when he talked about issues serving with Black people. I'm gonna let it vote in the House and in the Senate. What do you think is gonna happen to our issues in the House and in the Senate?
Right now?
And screwed. Right now? No, I'm talking about even if he wins, it's still, we don't know what's gonna happen.
I think we got the best shot that we've had in a very long time right now.
But you think, I'm gonna tell you this, it's still gonna get chopped and screwed. Everybody, just because they voted for Democrats and want to be on that side, they're not going to be for us.
But the whole thing that you're talking about right now can't be fixed with law. The problem that we have is the microaggression when I get out my car.
Yep.
Is the neighbor looking inside my house. That is something entirely different, you know, or I go to a job interview or I'm in a meeting somewhere, I say something, they don't take my word for it. My colleagues say it, they on it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a whole other thing. And even if they give us loans, even if they give us access to all that stuff, we're gonna have to have those same conversations. There's Black CEOs right now, multimillionaires launching startups in Silicon Valley who say, I have to bring my white intern with me so people can see what's what. My white intern gets mistaken for the CEO.
Yeah.
And I'm running like a $40 million a year organization headed to $1 billion in 10 years. And that's happening to me. Right.
But see, the problem is this: the more we build wealth, which is what I'm talking about, wealth accumulation, the more we build it, the more we have opportunity to build it, the more of us will have it. And then that way it seems more natural. Right now, it seems like
that's a marathon. That's a marathon.
But we need a marathon if we want our children to have it.
But I also want the sprint, which is like, how about let's stop the incarceration, let's stop the shooting, stop the killing. Like,
but what happens with sprinting? It gets taken over.
But here's the thing, Byron. Here's the thing.
Go
so on. I think we can kind of make it both, where you have the marathon, but you have the legs of the marathon in which you may run faster, in which you may run slower, you may go somewhere in between. Because when you made the perfect statement of in your neighborhood, you don't have police sitting right there, but they're sitting right there, however many minutes away, right? In another neighborhood. But we really probably need them sitting in your neighborhood as well, because the crime that you don't know, because the crime that they're worried about, or the crime that they're playing towards, is only on that one side. But we need them in the other areas. I mean, the job I do, I love my job. I'm in a primarily Caucasian county, in which you see the numbers that we have is absolutely ridiculous. But even inside of that, it's certain neighborhoods, it's certain areas that are the target. And instead of it, I've seen a guy who has 7 DUIs not step foot in jail and not have to pay any fines. I see a guy come in for marijuana. I don't care, black, white, or anything. And yet he's going to jail. Wait, 7 DUIs, you could have killed somebody, and I was smoking a joint.
Yeah.
But yet that's the one that's going to jail.
Yeah.
I won't get into the sexual offenders and all that, but I still don't understand how a sexual offender can come out or not even go to jail, but yet a drug dealer goes to jail. Yet somebody who has finances goes to jail. All these other things, but yet somebody who takes an innocent person's whatever, whether it's a female, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's a mental health, but yet they don't step foot in jail. But to play to the bigger part, we need to get those police. We need to get the focus not just on specific areas and whole. We need holistic. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Because if you're good because you live in that neighborhood, but so-and-so ain't good and they live a couple, however, it doesn't matter that their status may change if they don't change their neighborhood. So if I'm doing well and I got this small business, but yet my neighborhood hasn't changed, I'm still in the same demographic in which I can be bothered by the police. No. So I get what you're saying, but I think we can go at it as a marathon, but go at it in segments and figure out what is the first segment. Do we need that sprint segment first so we can get that addressed, and then we can kind of get the further down, or do we need to vice versa, and pace ourselves? So I mean, I don't know the answer to that 100%, but I think we can play both ends of the marathon.
So let me ask you this. If you knew what we needed to achieve, like the end result, and you had ideas and things that need to take place throughout time to get to that level, how would you present it? Would you present the worst thing or the hardest thing first, or would you present the easiest thing first? You see what I'm saying? Or would you present the thing that gets the most traction first or appeals the most first? You get what I'm saying?
I go for most impact.
Most impact, right? So
Most impact.
So let's think of this. Every time they talk about prison reform, you know what they do to us? They reduced us to criminals. And I'm not trying to say that we are criminals, but they reduce us to saying our agenda is surrounded by criminal behavior. And I'm going to agree with the person who I don't ever agree with in the situation, Candace Jones.
You mean Owens?
Owens, I mean, sorry, I said Candace Jones. Candace
Oh.
Owens. She said the same thing. Black people go, and not said just serious Black people, we glorify the criminal behavior in certain situations because we focus so much on trying to make sure they're free because they did something a little wrong and they did. And I'm not talking about this. If somebody did a little weed and got caught and got 20 years for it,
Yeah.
you're going to be out there picketing for that situation because that's a very unfair situation, right? But if that person who wanted that business loan got denied, right, and the next person that was white that got denied, I mean, got that loan, you wouldn't even know about that. But this is what's going on in America. This is what's going on every time. And I got countless people I know who SBA loans I used to do for in Bank of America. And I'm just like, okay, we got this. Decline. I'm like, why you decline? And then I get somebody who no assets, no good credit score, and getting an SBA loan. And I'm like, well, how do you even know they're white or Black? Because I did the application and there's nothing about white or Black in there. So there's something in there that causes that reaction for people to respond a positive way towards a Caucasian and a negative way towards a Black person. With that being said, we don't know about those institutions. We don't know about those situations. So what happens is this. We spend more time trying to be in criminal reform because it's a gateway to everything else. But we also forget and neglect the accumulation of wealth will help get us over that hump of criminal reform too. Because once somebody's in jail for a certain period of time, all you can do is get a lawyer and get them out. But guess what usually happens, the reason why they can't get out? Why they can't get bonded out? Because they don't have money.
Yeah.
So we can pick all day long and we still can't fix that issue. We can't fix the issue. So why do we accumulate wealth?
A slightly different perspective. All the data shows Black fathers are by far and away more engaged than almost every other demographic in America, right? Black fathers spend more time with their kids at the dinner table. They're more engaged in their lives. Just all around, way more engagement. Black fathers, right? Who's sitting in jail? Who's sitting in jail right now? Black fathers.
That's been that's the whole construct.
So for what I'm saying, it's like how, like, think about what that does to a certain demographic, right? Think about what that does to your support system and your ability. So even when you're like, okay, I got denied the SBA loan, because white people get denied the SBA loan too, right? They might fall back and go to daddy, grandpa, somebody and say, hey, help me scrap this up, right? I can't go back to my daddy because guess what? He's in jail. And my grandfather was in jail too, right? Like, you're taking able-bodied men out of the system who could be building wealth, but to your point, more slowly. I get it, but they're completely out of the game. And that's hurt every single one of us.
But let's ask yourself this, and I want you, and this is going to be very controversial, but I don't care because that's what I do. Have you ever been threatened with jail time?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I won't say directly, but I had a cop almost take my life one time.
Okay. What about you, Jarrell?
Yep.
Threatened with jail time? For doing nothing is what I'm saying. And when I say threatening with jail time, or what I mean is this. You are doing absolutely nothing that could be interpreted as illegal. I'm not talking about you could be driving down the street and it could be a tail light. That's not something that's illegal. That's an infraction. So, and then you can't go to jail for that. That's not something you go to jail. So what I'm asking you is, has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you got pulled over. and the police were like, okay, hey, your tail lights out. Let's run your name. Let's do all these kind of things.
Dante and I got pulled
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. They pulled you out of the car, put you in handcuffs?
Nah,
Why?
they
Because
didn't
they
have
had to
anything.
know you. There was nothing
They
they
didn't
could
have anything.
Byron, that doesn't stop them.
Let me finish. The problem is this. In society in America, when they pull over a black person, it's assumption of guilt, right?
Yeah.
We know this already. We understand this already. This is something that's embedded in when we're born. You tell your black children, this is what's going to happen possibly to you.
Yeah.
But yet, our children or whoever grows up and does stupid things where they do weed or drive recklessly or listen, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but we know that we have something against us and we still do things that cause us to be in those situations when we know the system is already there against us. So while we're trying to fight this system, we need to fight another system, which is the money machine, and gain more money. So when we go to jail, we have enough cash to pay for the same lawyer
But those
that
two
they
systems,
pay for.
they're one in the same system.
But
they're
the thing
one
is
in
this,
the same
but
system.
you can get money with a felony.
How
You
did
can
you
get money
build
with a
wealth?
felony.
Hold on. How did you build wealth 50 years ago as a black family? You did it through the man in your family. But if they locked his ass up and threw away the key, how could your family build wealth?
So
They
what do
shut
we?
your whole family down.
So what do we do today? Is what I'm talking about. Though. Today, do we still focus on the same archaic viewpoints of saying let's do prison reform? Because that's what they're. What I'm saying is this:
100%.
Democrats are talking about prison reform.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
If more black men stop going to jail on petty bullshit or unfair practices, or like think about all the kids right now in the school system who instead of getting a timeout, they're putting them directly into the legal system.
Where did that come from, though?
What do you mean? Where did that come from?
Those laws.
Republicans. I don't know. Come on. That look. Just because here,
you know what I'm gonna say, right?
No, that's
so
what
the person you gonna vote for is the same person that's going to do the same.
That's whataboutism. That's whataboutism. Just because a Democrat put a poor law in place, right? Let's say that, and I don't even know if what you're saying is true, okay? But I'm gonna roll with it. Let's say Joe Biden wrote the law himself, right? And yeah, that is the guy who's gonna get my vote, right? But he's getting my vote for a different reason, right? It doesn't change the fact that we should go after prison reform and this whole pipeline from the schoolhouse to the jailhouse. And in a lot of places, that's very real. If you're a white kid, oh, you know what he needs? He needs some Adderall. You know, he needs some therapy, right? If you're black, you know what you need? Take him to juvie, lock him up. Why you got a fourth grader in handcuffs? Because, and you know he has a condition. Oh. Right? Like, you know what I mean? There's literally a pipeline to send black bodies to jail.
Yes.
They've shown empirically, right, that little black girls are viewed as over-sexualized, all this kind of negative stuff. I'm like, if you don't change the pipeline that gets them out of the game, you're literally taking players off of the deck.
How long has this stuff been going on?
Forever.
And let me ask you this question then. When has it changed as far as when have they decided to change those kind of laws that go against us?
But what does that have to do with your argument about what we tackle first?
Because this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Bodies over money.
No, I'm not saying. This is what I'm saying. We have been fighting the crime stuff for years. It has not won. We have not won it.
It's just not done.
So, and they can write an executive order to erase some of these things.
Yeah.
But they choose not to. But Obama didn't choose not to. He knew this crime stuff was already in there too. He knew that too. So he knew he could have did it too. What I'm saying is this. So since they're not doing that one thing that we definitely need done, it's time to put a little focus on something else and we can sneak attack, get that cash, that cash and do it ourselves.
Here, let me put it to you like this. What they're doing with the prison system is literally about human dignity. And they won't give us the basic of human dignity. Now you think they're gonna come up and open their wallet and give me money?
Let me tell you why they'll give you money. I'm gonna tell you exactly why they'll give you money. Money is always going to be green to anybody. It's always going to be a good thing to anybody. If I guaranteed you to get a cut of what of anything, you would invest. But there's no buy-in for saving black people from out of jail because it's free labor.
Heard Kanye.
It's free labor.
The last 5 years crying because all his money didn't make him equal. Tell that to Kanye.
No, I'm not talking about making you equal. I'm not talking about making you equal. It's making you more powerful to be able to come to the table.
But you're talking about the very reason why they won't let us come to the deck. Because money equals power, power equals equality. That's the journey that we're going on.
We need to listen to Claude Anderson. Who said it best? Claude Anderson. He said it. I can't remember what he said now.
He said something.
He said something. It was good too.
It was good. It was real good.
Was it Claude Anderson? It was somebody. It was somebody who said, but it was funny how he said it too. All I'm saying is this: I'm not knocking criminal reform. I just hate to see candidates who don't look like me having that as their only black agenda.
Because that's just the majority.
For
You
me,
get what I'm saying? It's like I pick. It's like there's a black agenda, black agenda, black agenda. Criminal reform because everyone's gonna love this one.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Criminal reform. Everyone's gonna love this one. Now, keep in mind, we're not gonna do anything because remember the war on drugs, the war against drugs to put people in jail for drugs that weren't hurting anybody but themselves. Victimless crimes, right?
Oh,
And then we don't have boats, we don't have ships, we don't have boats, ships, or whatever, planes, trains, none of that stuff we have to get that stuff here, right? But yet it comes in our community in vast majority.
well, not these days.
Not these days. So
Yeah. And this is what I love sometimes about American politics is now certain other communities are suffering that same disease, the same plight. And
there's
guess
no
what?
fight against them.
There's
It's a mental illness.
what's up?
It's now a mental illness now.
Yeah. But you know what? Ain't nothing changed for them, huh? Right? Ain't nothing changed for them. And to me, if that doesn't highlight that the only thing that they care about is money, then you ain't never gonna wake up. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you go after money, if you go after money related issues specifically for black people, that's to me, that's a guarantee to get everyone in the universe to get laser focused on what you're talking about. And I mean in a negative way. Because as soon as you write something that says, look, I'm gonna give a bunch of black people some money. Let's do that. I'm signing into law. There's full-on rebellion. Full-on rebellion.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, as soon as they started talking about reparations, people was like, "Huh?
What?
What?
I know.
I didn't own
Give
nobody.
people money?
Do it.
I didn't own any slaves. Why do I have to pay for it?
I ain't got no
Why do I have to pay
slaves.
for it?
Look,
I don't have a nice house. So
at Amazon, they just came out like maybe a month or two ago, and they said, look, we're gonna double black leadership at this level and above. And these aren't people, the levels they're talking about, it's not people making chump change. And they said, we're gonna do that this year. Next year, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna double black leadership again, right? All the people who was talking about Black Lives Matter on the little company emails, where did they go? They went silent as a motherfucker. Okay. I didn't hear after they said that, I didn't hear nothing. Right? Ain't nobody wanted to talk then. Okay.
It's coming from me.
I'm telling you, you start
A
talking
check.
about giving black people money. Everybody, look, you're gonna have a bunch of people changing different things on that little form when they start a job. Caucasian? Not Caucasian. African American now. You know?
Mhm.
People gonna start filling in different bubbles, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna catch so much smoke, man.
But guess what? It's time for America to catch some smoke for the stuff they've done. So, this is my bonus question. Will your life change regardless of the sitting president? Your life.
So I guess I'll start. And I mean, it's a yes for me. And it may not be anything tangible except for my mental. I don't think I can do worse than what's currently in office. The mental state that we're in, that I'm in. But at the end of the day, there's not going to be very much that changes because we've always had to talk to our children or adults, African American, have and probably will be and still will be talking to their children about what to do around the police, because I don't think holistically things are going to change. But I do think that at least my psyche will be a tad different. I think obviously with some of the laws, if Biden comes in and does things with the student loans, that's going to directly affect me. Not even indirectly. That's going to directly affect me. Maybe not. But there's a lot of things that could happen in which, on the positive end, I'd be affected. I don't know what 4 more years of Trump is going to look like. And it's not just what we've seen now, but he's got 4 more years to put the right people in the right places, to set everything up, to keep going. That is what I'm afraid of. For things to get worse, that's what I'm afraid of. I was telling Ashley, I have never in my life seen so many people got flags all over the place. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. I have never seen it. Maybe other people have. I have never seen the money in which the signs are all over. Yeah, I used to see a sign here, and this is just where I live. A sign here, a sign there, something like that. I can't name a time that I've seen it where there's such a divide between people. And I feel like it's like, I want to vote for Donald Trump. I'm a pump my chest out to make sure everybody knows. Before you just go vote. Yeah, you might place a sign in there, but all the memorabilia and all that stuff that they have, I can't say that I've seen it that much. And I'm not going to say that it affects me directly, but mentally, it's like, are you putting it in your yard to say, I want to vote for Donald Trump? Or are you putting it in saying that I believe everything that he's saying, or I'm the same way that he is, which means that you don't like me. So that's kind of where I stand on it. But I think my life would change depending on who is in office.
DOT.
I
know it won't change.
My life changed. I mean, I'm sure. What'd you say?
Stop.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said, I know it won't change your connection.
I knew that's where he was going.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Can you hear me now?
So will my life change? To be honest, I would say yes. Because I think that if Trump does get in, I think that things are going to get worse. I do believe that. I think that he and a lot of the people that follow him, they're not going there. It's just, it's just going to get worse. I think so. It's very divided. The only time I see stuff like this happen, usually is if it's like some kind of racial, divide, far as like, I'm trying to think of what happened with like when Obama was in office and Trayvon Martin got killed. That was like the last time I saw like something like that where it was like really divided. Like you could just cut it, like you could just tell like any other thing happened, it could just set it off or whatever. And then when him coming out saying, if I had a son, he looked just like Trayvon Martin, and how everybody, that did not like Obama, how they kind of like, said negative things, and they just could not understand why he would say that. But that was the only time I think that I personally saw like a big divide, because I remember having conversations with Eric, because I think at the time he was living in Orlando, and we were still in Pennsylvania. So but yeah, so I definitely remember that. I really hope that Biden and Harris would have, you know, the black people and the black community, you know, that they have their best interest in mind. However, that's my problem with the Democrats, is that, you know, they always expect to get that vote, but then at the end of the day, they don't really do too much. And so it could be positive or negative, you know, depending on if they get in, as well. But I definitely would say that, yes, it would definitely change in some kind of way.
Hey, Eric, before you go, so I think for me, you know, maybe we talked about it in one of our text chains, or maybe I was talking to somebody else. I feel the divide a lot of times sometimes is amongst ourselves. And it's for the simple fact that we all have our own agendas. And I think it's harder for us to come together and say, you know what, it may not, my problem may not be addressed, but as long as problems that we are facing are addressed, I'm gonna take that as a win. That's what I would like to see. So there's going to be some black, there's going to be some minority, there's going to be some white. I just want what's best for everybody as a whole to be kind of the agenda. I would love some of the stuff that we have be addressed, but I know that there are also other things, you know, human rights, all that. So it's hard for me because I know that African Americans sometimes can divide each other because we have our own personal agendas, and we put our own personal agendas over the collective whole, right? So I look at, you know, the NFL. And when you look at their union and how they intertwine and work, they don't have a great relationship. But then on the other end, for the most part in basketball, they're doing it the right way, where you see a union and a commissioner kind of working as one to try to help each other out. I would love to see us do that rather than the NFL is so boom or bust. You got all the guys that aren't making any money. Like, well, we need to play. So if I even get a 10% raise, I'm good. I'm not that top guy. And that top guy's like, nah, man, that 10% ain't nothing. I'm not. So that divide then causes them friction. I would like to see us more like the NBA, where it's a collective unit, where you've heard LeBron James praise the commissioner, Adam Silver, time and time again for what he's done. You look at what they did with the bubble, but yet you got these NFL guys like, nah, man, I ain't about to spend no time for my family. Nah, man, I'm not giving up stuff. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes that divide hurts you, and it does. The revenue that the NBA players are getting is way higher than the NFL. Why? Because the agendas. We need to get out of that our agenda, our agenda, our agenda, and what's best for the collective whole as an African American minority community. That's what should be addressed first, and then we worry about our personal issues. That's my belief.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
I agree with it. And you see the second people start doing that, they get in trouble. So
But Byron, I think that plays to really what you were saying, because if we want prison reform, but that prison reform isn't going to get what we need right now, well, then our focus then needs to turn to what can we get addressed? Because you're right. I mean, and I've said it, that should be the number one thing is prison reform, because I think that directly affects and changes a lot. And I was within my job, I had a gentleman that was on my caseload that when y'all talked about everything that happened and when they changed laws, he was one of 4 people in the state of Maryland that got 25 years for being convicted of dealing crack cocaine. 25 years. When people walk in and out every day, conviction never got changed. They never even found anything, to be honest. All they had was a hand-to-hand transaction, but back then, that's all they needed to get found guilty. Long story short, he did his time. He came out, and I straight up asked him, how do you feel? He's like, well, what do you mean? I said, you see guys running in there day in, day out. And you want to know what he said? Hey, I did what I did. I got convicted of what I got convicted for. I had to pay for it. If I sat there every time and dwelled on when somebody was coming in and somebody was going, I had to worry about myself, right? So that's what we do. We worry about ourselves. We got to change that at some point. We got to change it. We got to think about everybody and the fullness, because he may not have had to do 25 years if he'd have been thinking about the whole, like, why are they getting out? Let me contact somebody. Let me try to get some help. We can't have the I mentality all the time.
Don't call it.
What you say?
That. Huh?
What do you say?
There ain't no I in team, and there ain't no we either.
There's me.
I was about to say, don't call Biden.
Shut up, Dante.
Oh.
Kamala either. She'd be like, nah, I'll let it go ahead and sit in there for a little bit. 25.
I'm sorry.
He just had a broken tail light. 25. So, Eric, what you think?
I think it will improve my life, but this is the only compliment I will ever give Donald Trump in my life. I think he was so disastrous for this nation that he created an environment where there are people who got things that they would not have otherwise gotten, because he exposed the hypocrisy and all the injustice so much that certain people couldn't lie to themselves anymore. And so I really hate to say this, but I feel like he really did set the stage for a lot of great change to happen. It just really sucks that it's come at the expense of so many people's lives. So I think things will get better. I will also say this to points Jarrell made about people puffing their chest out. I had my first really truly racist event from a person who I would think is not crazy in the state of California, flying the Blue Lives flag. You know, just felt empowered to just like, let me just be out here with my racism at Home Depot because I can. Never experienced anything. I had a crackhead come at me with some racist shit in the grocery store, but he was a crackhead. I don't think Donald Trump had anything to do with that. So I let that slide. But yeah, I do think things will definitely get better. I think, unfortunately, we might pay some more taxes, but I think I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that too. Byron, can I ask you a question now? Or I guess, can I ask everybody a question?
Sure.
So why when we see, like, you know, Blue Lives Matter, isn't that hypocritical? Because you're speaking to a specific group of people, and, you know, we say Black Lives Matter, but you're saying Blue Lives Matter.
Because blue is not a life. Blue is an occupation.
So you're saying that occupation matters.
Even worse.
What you say?
He said that makes it even worse. So you're saying that
are you asking?
Occupation matters.
Are you asking? Is it okay to say Blue Lives Matter?
No. I'm just saying I think it's hypocritical on their end.
Oh,
to
I
talk
thought you meant
about
why. Okay.
Yeah. Why do we say Black Lives Matter, but it's okay for you to say Blue Lives Matter.
Exactly.
When
Well, they only say that to counteract us because they have to discredit us and then demonize it and then make it seem like what we're saying is being divisive when they're the ones who are causing it. Because when we say Black Lives Matter, they assume, no, let me not say they assume, they can't handle the reality that something's going on and that the people that look like them are the ones of the cause. So that's just it. I mean, it's a gang. I mean, I ain't gonna sit there and lie to you. It's a gang.
I know it frustrates me. I just
Ask somebody who works in full law enforcement, who's every day, and ask them, does Blue Lives Matter all the time?
That's
and
not.
I was going to say the answer should be no.
But when you black, you don't got no turn off.
Right.
I mean, for years when I lived in my house, no one even knew I was working for the sheriff's department. I would pull my car in the garage, get out the car because I was working in corrections at that time. So I just drive home, get out my car. It wasn't until I went to my mailbox in my uniform that my neighbors saw that I worked for the sheriff's department, and they were like, "Oh, you work for the sheriff's department?" And I was like, I forgot to take off my uniform." But you see what I'm saying? Now they looked at me different because when I first moved there, they thought I was just a black guy in their neighborhood. Now they want to chum it up with me. They felt like they can ask me questions. You see what I'm saying? So Blue Lives Matter is that's one of those things that it's just a reaction to everything, just like Antifa was a reaction to everything, but to address everything about, will my life change with a sitting president? No, because what I'm doing, and let me just say it like this, my life's not going to change because the things I focus on are not based on the sitting president. It's based on the actions I have to take. And the actions I have to take have to be neutral to where it doesn't matter who the sitting presidents are. When you listen to millionaires and billionaires and people who have power, they don't care who the president is. You never hear them talk about it. They don't care. We're the ones who talk about it. The people who are broke or struggling are the ones who focus on it. Rich people don't care about it because guess what? At the end of the day, they know what the market's going to do. They know what the market's not going to do. They know that if the market goes up, they make money. If the market goes down, they have an opportunity to make more money. You see what I'm saying? Now, the harder thing for me is that I have to deal with the social injustices because, I got to walk outside and deal with everyday life. But I can turn off Trump. I just don't have to listen to him. I can, watch watch the Food Network, Biden, I can't really turn off.
I took the bait. Why not, Byron?
Because if I get pulled over, his laws will come in attack. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny or nothing. I'm not trying to say this. It is not against Biden because it actually is not Biden's laws. These laws were set since slavery. Slavery ended. They had Jim Crow. Jim Crow laws is what caused what we deal with today. All Biden did was say, there's crime. It's getting out of control. I need to control it. We just happens to be more of the spotlight of crime at that time. So guess who got affected by it? Right. They got affected by us. The reason why we had more crime is because we were still poor and poorer. I mean, think about it. Martin Luther King died in 1968? He died by the FBI fighting for us, mind you, fighting non-violently for us to just have equality. So we weren't wealthy then, and we still aren't wealthy now. And all I can say is this: the wealth part may not fix the problems of the world, but unless you put a down payment on that other stuff that you need to fix, it lets you put the down payments down. I can put money towards this person's books and say, hey, I'm gonna get you out on bond so you can fight your case outside of the jail instead of being in the jail. I can put, I can get you a better lawyer, because that's what it comes down to. So
I'm just gonna make one little hit on that one, man. Like, look, money equals power. Money equals power. And and why did they come after Tulsa? Why did Black Wall Street happen? Money.
Money.
Black people was making too much money. Why? A lot of people say, you know, what happened with Martin Luther and Malcolm X? They started talking
about economics.
That's what. So I get what you're saying, Byron. I just don't think it's going to be any easier.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but what I'm saying is that we have institutions that allow us to do things. Like now, we can open banks. They can't stop us. You know what I'm saying? So once we start determining we'll move our money towards that, they're going to be like, oh, okay, we got to make a new law so where it doesn't do this, it doesn't do this. There's so many ways now you can make money without having a government involved now. Now that Bitcoin and all those kind of companies are coming out, and all these kind of things are coming out.
You be flagged on the CIA right now? Like,
no, I'm talking about without having them. I'm not talking about that. You still have to pay taxes. What I'm saying is this: you can be anonymous in the situation of investing your money, so it doesn't have to seem like you are a black guy walking in the bank and trying to put your money in an account. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
We can go online to Vanguard and put it in the EFT. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to wait around for anybody to teach us these things anymore. We can learn it on our own and invest our money. The problem is this: we don't see the people who are out who are making the most money, like our rappers and singers and entertainers. We don't see them doing those things. We see them rich, but we don't see what they do with their money. Until we start seeing them what they do with their money, it won't become a habit for us. All we see them is them spending money. We see them buying houses. We see them buying cars. So what do we continue want to do? We want to live that part of the life, but we want to do the struggle part. The struggle part is to invest in it. You know what I'm saying? Finding the right vehicle for it, you know? That's all I'm saying. So I got 6 years I'm paying off this house. 6 years. I just got it in 2018.
I'm not mad at you, but as a financial person, I guarantee you I can show you a better way to make more money than paying off.
I'm not gonna make money. I just want to pay off my house.
Same difference. Opportunity cost.
Okay.
I sold the same story to Dante. I sell it to you too. I guarantee you can make more money with your money going somewhere else than to pay down your mortgage.
Okay.
My 2 cents.
We'll have that conversation, definitely.
We need to have that conversation. Dante, tell me about this conversation. You see what I'm talking about? When I'm talking about we not helping each other?
Dante looking out for himself.
Hold up. I told Eric that as when we get our house, I want to pay it off in 5 years. I don't want to be in the debt. I don't want no debt. None.
Well, if you don't want no debt, why don't you just save up for it? How about that? How about you don't get no debt by not purchasing any debt? How about that?
That'll take too long. That'll take too long. Unless I go buy.
Yeah,
It's gonna take too long.
I'll just give you the basic premise.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
We'll say that for another talk.
Yeah. I
do not want those nuggets given up on the group Man 2. Thank you for watching Grown Man 2. Our Patreons can get this information. All right, guys. Good night.
All right.
Now, tell me.